Alright guys, so if you'll remember maybe a year or two ago, we checked out the Yobibo Card 20. That was labeled as the world's thinnest pair of true wireless earbuds. It came in a very tiny case, the earbuds were very small, and so they now have released a new version of these. In fact, it's under a different name and it's actually being released from a different company. But this company did work with the original designers because they loved this design so much, but they wanted to upgrade the insides. They felt like it needed a little more punch to it, and there was just things they needed to improve. So it's technically like if you or me went and found the perfect car. We just love the design of the body, we love the style of it, we love the color, but the engine was crappy, or the speakers were busted, or just didn't sound too good, and the entertainment system could have been a little bit better. And so if you or I had all this money and we could contact the company and work with the original designer, we still want the body of this car, but we want a better engine, and we want better sound, and we want a better entertainment system. Yeah, we could have done this all on the side, but we want to offer this to people out there to be able to purchase as well. So technically, that's what the company Nexigo did. And the pair that we're going to check out today is the Air T2s, which is the newer version of the Yobibo Card 20s. So now let's talk about the upgrades that they have made. And I do want to start here with the price. These are coming in at 79 bucks. But because of Amazon, there is a sale, and there's also like a discount box that you can check. And right now you can pick them up for $63. And to me, that's enticing because a pair like this is small. The earbuds are small, the case is small. You can throw this in your pocket, you can throw it in anything really, and it's not going to take up a lot of space. And because of its design, you can use it in a few other situations that maybe you wouldn't normally use a normal pair of true wireless earbuds. But as far as the upgrades, these now have been upgraded to Bluetooth 5.2. They're also now using a Snapdragon Qualcomm 3040 chip, which has not only improved the performance of the earbuds overall, but has also helped with giving these a little bit better battery life, which I think was definitely needed over the original ones, because the originals only got 4 hours on the earbuds, where now this pair is getting you 7 hours, and with the charging case you can actually get around 28 hours total. And on a normal pair of earbuds, that seems to be about average battery life, but on a case this small and with earbuds this small, that battery life is actually kind of impressive. Now, another thing that they improved is this pair now has aptX, AAC, and SBC playback. And having aptX playback is one of the better Bluetooth codecs that you can have. So I didn't notice any kind of compression when it came to the audio. I didn't notice any lag with movies or videos. Now, there is a slight lag with gaming. So if you're looking for a pair for gaming, I maybe wouldn't recommend these, but for everything else, I think you're going to be okay. And also, if you're looking for a pair to use at the gym, or just use while you're running or doing anything outdoors, they do come in rated at IPX5, which pretty much means if you're somebody that sweats heavily or if it starts to rain, you don't have to worry, but you do want to make sure you don't submerge a pair like this into water. Now, as far as anything that they give you inside the box, really it's simple. This is an open air design, so you don't get the ear tips. And these do charge using a USB-C cable, which they've included. And you are going to need to use a USB-C cable because this is not a Qi wireless charging case, which I kind of didn't expect it to be. Again, in this price range, and because this is so tiny, I think there's really only so much that you can cram into a case this small. Now, one design choice I like and I don't like at the same time is the top of the lid is open. You can see the actual earbuds sitting in there. You could also see the 3 indicator lights. That way you can kind of gauge how much battery's in here. But once you're using the earbuds, all of this is still exposed. So if you put the case back in your pocket, or if you're at the beach, or you're just anywhere, anything can still get into this case. So I really wish there was still a way to cover these up, kind of like with headphones. If you take the microphone off of a gaming headset, some companies give you a little thing to seal this. Now, I do know it's something else that you would have to keep up with, but protecting your investment, even though it's not an expensive investment, is still something I would at least still like to have the option to do. So now moving over to the earbuds. Like I said earlier, this is one of the tiniest pair of earbuds that you'll see. And these do use touch controls, and sadly, they don't give you volume control. They only give you play, pause, and the ability to skip forward, go backwards. You can summon your smart assistant, which means you can tell the smart assistant to turn your volume up or down, but I still just prefer to have the volume control on the earbuds themselves. But speaking of the controls, one thing that I do want to point out is the company sent me a picture of the earbuds and they circled where the touch controls were located. And throughout my testing, I tried a bunch of different areas, but what I noticed is you could touch the top of the earbuds. I pulled the earbuds out and touched the inside of the earbuds, and it still worked the controls. So it's feeling the impact and causing the controls to be worked that way, not necessarily so much just because you touch a certain area. And so another thing that they also improved upon, and I know this is important to a lot of people, is they've upgraded the microphones. Instead of using a single mic, they now have dual mics on the earbuds. They now have CVC 8.0, which means it's blocking out a lot of your surroundings. And I feel like it does a very good job of picking up my voice. I was just kind of surprised, especially considering how the first gen sounded. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. All right, guys, so here is the mic test using the Air T2s. I'm really impressed with how well it picks up my voice. In fact, I think it picks up bass tones really nicely. A lot of pairs don't seem to do that. It just seems to focus on making sure that it can hear you and not necessarily focus on how the quality is of how you're coming across on the other end of a phone call. But this is what it would sound like if you were to use these for a phone call. And so now here's the mic test with the crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And this way you can hear what it would sound like if you're using them in a restaurant or a public environment, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public. So now let's talk about the sound, because the sound on these is where they needed to improve, and they definitely changed the driver that they used, and you can also tell that the volume level gets a lot higher, which means that you could turn these up and block out a lot of that open sound that got in on the first gen. But another thing that they did was they boosted the low end, where surprisingly you can feel a little bit of impact. In my opinion, I actually think it has about the same bass impact that the regular pair of AirPods has. Now, beyond that, you can tell that there's a ton of focus on the mids and the highs. Vocalists always sounded up front. Vocalists were always clear. So if you're going to listen to podcasts or watch movies or TV shows, this is beneficial because you'll have no issue being able to hear dialogue. But with all different types of genres, I always felt like the vocalist was extremely clear. So I loved the mids that these have. And same thing with the treble. The treble is definitely nice and bright. Even at higher volumes, it can tend to get a little harsh. So you may not want to listen to these as loud as they can go, but I like having that brighter sound, especially when you have a little bit of a thump to kind of counteract that. So it just gives you a cleaner sound, but you still have a little bit of bass. And so these just have a fuller sound than the first gen. But where this type of design really benefits you is the soundstage and the sound imaging. This is a much more open sounding earbud than most of the ones that we've tested on this channel. And because there's so much focus on the mids and the highs, there's no issue with being able to tell where details are coming from. So my overall opinion of this product is, although this isn't the type of design that I would use on a normal day-to-day basis, I still found it really beneficial, especially in a lot of situations where I did need to hear if I knew somebody was going to be coming to the door, or if I just needed to hear my surroundings in general. And because I'm one of those that I don't like using one earbud at a time, having earbuds in my ears where I can still hear things is definitely better than, at least for me, putting one earbud in. So I think at the price tag of $79 or $63, whatever you pick it up at, just know that you're paying more for having the benefits of having a pair this small, but you may also be somebody that can't wear a pair that has ear tips, and so it leaves you with a lot less options, and this is an excellent option in that category. But guys, that's my video on the Nexigo Air T2s. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.